back. This morning, we're giving a voice to victims and remembering Coach John Beam, who was senselessly murdered at the age of 66. Now, you might not know the name, but you likely know his face. Coach Beam was a beloved star of the wildly popular Netflix series Last Chance U, not only mentoring young men, but really making a difference in the community where they lived.
John Beam, a legend now, 40 years coaching football.
I think he woke up pissing fire.
When I tell you to shut up, it better stop.
Why are you talking when he's talking?
Coach Beam is the man, real talk. He really kept brothers off the street. He was a father figure.
This dude want to win everything.
Oh, damn!
If the game is the hustle, I'm putting my money on Beam. Beam gonna be Beam every day.
Y'all gonna be my age one day. Look, I'm in great shape.
What a great montage that is there, all about the coach. Now, look at this. This is where it gets really sinister. This is the defendant who's accused of murdering Coach Beam. This is 27-year-old Cedric Irving Jr. And while we will continue following the progression of his case as we look toward justice for the beloved coach, we're not going to talk about the defendant this morning. We're going to remember the victim. And I'm so pleased to welcome in such a special guest in the studio with me, someone who is a friend of the coaches, a mentee of the coaches, someone who really loved him. Hannibal Navies, you retired from the NFL. You were a superstar player, and he was a superstar coach. And you have such an interesting history with him, although he didn't actually coach you. So tell us a bit about your relationship. How did it start?
It's interesting, as you say, he didn't coach me because it doesn't seem like that. He's such a big figure in my life, and I actually, met him when I was in high school at a rival high school as a competitor, and he's such a fierce competitor, as you heard in the beginning of the show. Just his competitive nature just drew me to him. Even as a youngster, he still cared about me at another school and took care of me. And just, he was a legend in Oakland. Whether you played for him or you didn't play for him, everybody knew about Coach Beam and knew what he poured into the community of Oakland. He just serviced so many people. And my personal story for him as well, early on in my life and meeting him, not only that, but he coached my family members and somebody very close to me, my cousin, that we were really close. And if it wasn't for him, he was a father figure to him. He wouldn't have made it out of Oakland either. So he just did that that was countless number of times he did that for just so many people, father figure.
Wow. So you grew up in Oakland, and you were playing for a rival high school. And so initially, that's how you got on Coach Beam's radar. Yeah. And so did he reach out to you? Was he competitive with you?
I used to see, because Coach Beam was also a track coach, right? So I was also a All-American track runner in high school. So he coached he won, actually my senior year, won the 4x1 in state, right? So, we used to have competitive banter back and forth all the time. And they finally got us a state championship after we beat them all year. So even to this day, even just last month, we talk about it, just joke about how they actually beat us in the final race and won states. But he was just a competitor, fierce competitor, and he always had mutual respect for me and what I did. So it was just love that man all around.
Oh, definitely. And so take me through the progression. So you played 9 seasons in the NFL. What was your relationship with him like when you were playing there?
When I played in the NFL, it was like when he's there, I needed him. I mean, when he was there, he was always answer the phone. When he was there, when I needed him, he was there. He just was one of those guys. He didn't bother you. He didn't ask for anything, but if you reached out to him and you wanted some advice or you just needed something, the season was going on, he would just check in, see how you're doing. If you wanted to just get some advice from him, he was always answering the phone. No matter how busy he would always get back to you. It's just a resource for me and for many other people that he's touched.
Yeah, and so it seems like you got closer and closer with him. So it started high school, progressed to college, professional ball, and then after you retired, you started a foundation to help young athletes, the 360 Sports Academy.
Yes.
Yeah, and that you two were collaborating on with as well as recently as last week, right? Tell me about that, Hannibal.
Our relationship grew even stronger as I retired from the NFL because, while I was playing, I did a lot of charity work and came back a lot to Oakland every year while I was playing to do foundation work and do camps and do things in Oakland. And when I retired, I went on to 360 Sports Academy Foundation, and I took it to the next level and just wanted to do more than just doing football stuff on the field. And so I talked to Beam, and we really talked about doing something at Laney and really taking my 360 to the next level and bringing all the Oakland students together and doing more stuff in the classroom, doing stuff off the field, right? Doing more things in the classroom, from mental health to social justice to, college prep, all those kind of different things. So we did the first one at Laney, and we've been doing the 4 or 5 years since then. We're actually planning one now for Super Bowl. So this is why it's so disheartening, because he just was giving so much, and when you talk about Laney, For me, it's in the center of Oakland, and it's something that, you know, he was the athletic director there, so he opened up. He never asked for anything. He gave us, you know, free reign at Laney to run this program, and he did whatever he could to make it successful. So for me personally, I mean, 360 wouldn't be what it is without him, because he made everything happen for me in that regard, for sure.
I know he really touched your life in such a special way. I'm sure it probably doesn't even seem real. I'm so sorry for your loss. I know this is so deeply personal. You're holding it together here on the show, of course, but I know this is devastating for you, Hannibal, and devastating for everyone in Oakland. What exactly did Coach Beam mean to the city?
Yeah, it is hard. It still hasn't kicked in to me, but I am here today because I want to celebrate Beam, and this is something that's just important to me because it is such a sad thing. It's something that I don't think he wants us to be sad. I think he wants us to continue his legacy and move on. But what he meant to me is just the piece of me, but he means so much to so many people. Everybody has a piece of Beam. And, you know, he was the heartbeat of Oakland. He was called the godfather of Oakland football. I mean, if you know Oakland, it has its rough parts, but there's no place Beam couldn't walk. There's no place Beam couldn't go and be accepted in Oakland. And you know, it's just a loss for our community of Oakland when Oakland community needs so much, and he was just a beam of light for Oakland and just such a great leader. It's hard to lose somebody like that in Oakland. It's hard to replace somebody like Beam in Oakland. So his legacy it's on us, and my condolences go out to his family and his granddaughters, his daughters, and his wife, and just, you know, I think it's just something that we have to figure out how we continue to take his legacy to the next level, and I think that's something that he would want.
Right. This is all beautiful to hear, Hannibal. Tell me, what do you think Coach Beam means to the black community in Oakland?
Sure. It's interesting. He wasn't a black man at all, but we never saw that. We never saw him as a color. We just saw him as a very a truth teller, somebody who gave us tough love, and he just meant he meant success. You know, we looked at Beam as somebody who could help us be successful, somebody who could help us transcend out of Oakland. So that's what Beam represented. He represented somebody like, if you want to be successful, you want to use sports as that tool, or you just want somebody who mentor you to get you through out of Oakland, he's done it. I mean, he's got over 40, 50 guys in the NFL. So that legacy is still going to go on. I mean, as you see, there's so many people, even if you didn't play football, I mean, from Gary Payton to Dame Lillard to all these different people that he's touched their lives, just means so much in Oakland. So it's just, and it's not just sports. I think it's men, it's women, it's just, you know, he sat on several boards in Oakland. He just did so much. And so, you know, it's hard to lose somebody that's a fabric of Oakland, especially when Oakland is changing so much. It's good to have a staple and a piece, and a foundational piece like being there. So with him gone, it's definitely a loss for us, a loss for Oakland, not just a loss for me. And I think that's the biggest thing, right? He meant so much to so many people. It's hard to just feel bad for yourself, because it's a loss for so many people, and Oakland loses. Not just me, not just his family, but Oakland loses with this one.
He sounds like he was really a gift to the community, to so many people. You touched on what he meant to your cousin. Would you elaborate a little more, Hannibal, about how he went above and beyond what a typical coach might do?
Sure. I mean, you know, my cousin, my personal story, my cousin, my auntie, she was a single mother. He didn't have a father growing up, so he didn't ever plan to play football, never played football. Beam discovered him and talked him into playing football and picked him up every day, because he didn't have a ride to school, picked him up every day and was a father figure to him. And if it wasn't for him and being that kind of light for him, it would have never happened. If you know my auntie, she doesn't let anybody in, like literally not even in the house, right? And Beam had a key. Beam had a key to the house. She trusted him. My cousin trusted him. We all trusted him. And he came and picked my cousin up every day from school and was a father figure to him, and became California State Player of the Year, right? And went to college on a scholarship. And this is somebody who was never even thinking about playing football. So just those are just, you know, that's a personal story, but I hear those stories all the time from so many different people, how much of a father figure he was, and how he just didn't think about it, right? He just did it. And anytime I called on Beam and asked him for something, he just did it. And if he says he's going to do it, he does it. So that was just kind of man he was.
Oh, my gosh. I have chills. That just gives me chills when you said how successful your cousin became.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, gosh. Well, we are so sorry for your loss, your cousin's loss, the loss to the community of Oakland. And thank you for celebrating him. As you said, he would, you know, not want people to be sad. He was such a giant. I think we remember all the good as we go forward. Hannibal Navies, this has been wonderful talking with you. I'm sorry it's under these circumstances, but thank you for sharing all the great memories, and we'll continue the conversation, of course.
I appreciate you giving me a platform to talk about Coach Beam. Such a special person. Thank you.
You got it.
All right.
And as we go to break, we want to remember Coach John Beam. He was a giant, as you just heard Hannibal say, a giant in the Oakland community. The Godfather there, he was called. He became the head coach at Laney College back in 2012, where he won 2 league titles. And according to his biography on the college's website, at least 20 of his players went on to play in the NFL. And while mentoring countless others, over his many years as coach, he truly made a difference. We'll be right back.